Have you ever feel like you are at the top of the mountain, standing at the summit? It is a time where you feel like you are doing much better compared to anyone else out there. For me, it is when I look at the photo on my Instagram and I feel like my landscape photo is much better compared to anyone else out there. But the fact is, I am absolutely wrong. I just had that ego in me. Same happened to me when I'm playing a basketball game. The moment I step on court, I feel like I am the best player out there. I am absolutely better than anyone else on court. For you, it could be something else. But the point here is that we all have the moment that we feel like we are the best, but not in a good way. Instead with ego and pride. And this could happen to you in the past, which means you have realized it now that you do not know everything. But we could still be blind to it, because we simply do not know what we don't know. So you see, when we are very certain and very sure that we know about something, there is no reason for us to look for gaps and flaws in our knowledge, let alone try to learn more to fill up the gaps and correct the flaws. And have you ever wondered why this happened to us? The reason is very easy, because we have fragile ego. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know your weaknesses? I'm pretty sure that you know it, but human nature, we tend to deny our weaknesses in front of other people and we paint a positive picture of ourselves to others. It is like, have you ever tell other people that you are a dumbass? Probably no, right? The thing here is that we do not have the ability to think about our thinking. Lack of competence can make us blind to our own incompetence. When we lack the knowledge and the skills to achieve excellence, same time we also lack the knowledge and skills to judge what is excellent. So what happened? We simply thought that we are good, we are excellent. People call this the Dunning-Kruger effect. It is when we lack of competence that we are more likely to be overconfident. For the thing we do every single day, alright, it is easy for us to be overconfident in driving or maybe typing. Alright, so we simply confuse experience over expertise. It's like I drive long distance to work and back home every single day. I type at least 3,000 words every single day. I am absolutely an expert on this. But there will be a moment where you can easily recognize that you are lack of experience. Now, suppose you feel like you have decent skill in driving and typing as you're doing it every single day. But you would not feel the same if I ask you to drive a race car or rapidly type out all the alphabets backwards. You certainly knew that you are no good at that. Dunning-Kruger effect don't happen to us when we are absolute beginner. Just think of, if you are a beginner in basketball, you're not going to walk around and tell everybody that you know better than the coach when you're watching a game. It is when we progress from beginner to amateur that we become overconfident. For myself, I love to watch basketball and I also play basketball. So I tend to follow all those NBA news on my Facebook. So whenever a team loses a game, even though it's a professional level game, we all know NBA is a professional level game, we can still see people comment that my grandma can coach better than the coach. Alright, so my 2-year-old son can shoot better than him. This coach has to be fired right away. He has no clue how to coach. Now, people with decent knowledge about basketball, they might be able to understand why coach make those decisions. But sadly, those bad comments often come from people who did not even play at a professional level. So you see, this is the problem. But basketball is only one of the examples in our life. The key point here is that when we progress from beginner to amateur, we learn a little bit of knowledge, but we thought we know a lot. So a little bit of knowledge can be very, very dangerous. When I am playing basketball, of course I am a casual player. I am a little bit explosive, I can dribble well, I can shoot well. So I thought I'm good. But this has prevented me to learn basketball as a team play. So you see, for those who are playing basketball out there, for sure you know about pick and rolls, screen, all these are basic team play in basketball. But I have never learned and tried to do it during my basketball game. Alright, so because I feel like I can dribble well, I can shoot well, I can score, so screw it. It is when one day people asked me to join them for a game, and this is a true story. So people asked me to join them for a 5-on-5 full court game because one of their friends is absent. So I said, yes, why not? So as we are playing, then they start to discuss about strategy, team play. It is that moment that I fell from absolute best player to the absolute worst player on court, because that moment is when I realized I do not know anything about basketball. Basketball is not just about dribbling, shooting, you can score. Ultimately, basketball is a team sport. Advancing from beginner to amateur can actually break our rethinking cycle, because as we gain some experience, we also lose some humility. From beginner to amateur, this is the time where we feel like we are making rapid progress. From knowing nothing about basketball, suddenly we know how to dribble and how to shoot. So we tend to feel like we are very good in basketball. So we will build that stupid pride in us that lead us to the false sense of mastery. When we are overconfident and with that false sense of mastery, it will prevent us to doubt what we know and curious about what we don't know. And we are more likely to express our idea and overpower other people in the conversation when we are amateur. It's like we know a little bit, but we thought we know a lot. So think in this way. If you keep on talking during the conversations, you are only expressing the knowledge you have in your mind. If you only have 1% of knowledge about basketball in your mind, you can talk for hours and hours and hours, but you are only expressing the 1% of knowledge in your mind and you do not learn anything. But if you try to listen to other people, okay, when you listen to other people, for sure they're expressing the knowledge they have in their head, which you do not have. So you will definitely learn something new when you learn to listen to other people. So humble, humility, eager to learn should be the quality we have. Progressing from beginner to amateur is like climbing a mountain. So you climb and climb and climb and eventually reach to the summit of the mountain. So you seem to be the first person who reached the summit, because from beginner to amateur, you feel that rapid progress in you. So you feel like you are the first person who reached the top. So when you look down, people still struggling to reach the summit. It's like you can still see people struggling with their dribbling skill, people still struggling with their shooting in basketball. So there's no reason for you to question your knowledge. You feel like you're doing every right thing to reach the summit first. You are the best. So the book author Adam Grant called this Mount Stupid. So basically you are standing at the summit of Mount Stupid thinking that everyone else is stupid. But if you can realize that there is another mountain that is more challenging and much higher, where you can learn more and be better, you could actually step down from Mount Stupid, back to the basics, stay humble, but work harder. Learn more to fill up the gaps in your knowledge and correct your flaws. And you can eventually reach to a new height. So from the book here, Atomic Habit, this is the very first book that I read. So the author James Clear mentioned that be 1% better every day, and you will be 37 times better in a year. And also, as I read this book right here, I also make some notes for myself, and I find it's quite relevant to today's video. Now, from the diagram here, you can see I use basketball as the example, and this is about mastering a field. But I find that this is quite similar to what we are talking today. Now, you see, from the beginning, I am an absolute beginner in basketball, so I know nothing about basketball. And the first skill that I pick up is about dribbling, and believe it or not, this is a true story. The first skill that I picked up in basketball is truly dribble, because I used to watch a lot of street ball with my friends back in the day, so I learned about dribble. So first skill, dribble. Now from beginner, I learned about dribble, but there will be a time as I train, as I learn, there will be a time where I feel very comfortable and confident with my dribble skill. But I cannot stop there. If I stop there, which means I am stranded at the first peak of Mount Stupid. So I would think basketball is all about dribble, which is not right. So we need to back to the basic, but we're not going to go back to zero again, which means we are back to the basic of the second skill. So now, I can easily score with my right hand, which is my dominant hand, but I want to learn how to make a layup with my non-dominant hand. Now I have two options to score. I can score with my left hand and also my right hand. So the second skill I pick up is to master layup with non-dominant hand. So I back to the basic again of the second skill. So as I train, as I learn, as time goes, I will also be confident and comfortable to score with my non-dominant hand. But I cannot stop there. If I stop there, I'm actually stranded at the second peak of mouse to pit, which means I'm not making further progress. Then we're gonna repeat the same, alright? So we're gonna back to the basic of the third skill, okay? We need to be humble, we need to stay grounded, we need to pick up the next skill. So I should pick up like pick and roll, screen, those basic team play in basketball. So that could be my next skill. So now you see here, you have to understand that there is always another skill for you to learn, no matter what you do in life. So with that, it will keep you grounded and stay humble. So just keep on repeating this process as you master one skill and then stay grounded, back to the basic and start to master the next skill. Then you can eventually be better and better and better. Although photography and basketball is not my career, but if I stay shorter at the summit of Mount Stupid, if I don't give in to fragile ego, and if I confront my weaknesses from the beginning, I could have actually done better. So we should always rethink our thinking, doubt our knowledge, and challenge ourselves. We need to admit our mistakes and also confront our weaknesses and then excel. So that's it for today's video. I hope this video can be helpful to you and I will see you guys at the higher mountain. Bye bye.